Crypto taxes are an especially important topic this year. During a bull run is when a lot of people who maybe have been stacking and hodling for a long time choose to sell certain assets and trigger taxable events. So it's really important to make sure you have all of your ducks in a row in terms of having the correct cost basis and making sure your transaction history is all correct. And this can be an incredibly overwhelming and daunting task, which is why you absolutely should be using a crypto tax software, especially if, like many of us who maybe aren't maxis in a particular coin, I dabbled in lots of different things from DeFi, NFTs, swapping, bridging between chains, and probably have a variety of losses and wins to account for. So you truly do want to be able to just plug all of that into a software and have it spit out the correct tax document. So the tax software we're going to be walking through today is ZenLedger. And honestly, the one last thing I want to say before we really dive into this video is that you need to get started earlier rather than later. Not just on getting ready for this tax season, which we are right in the heat of, making sure that you set yourself up in this kind of software so that as this year goes through, you're staying on top of things so that you are ready to go for next year as well and you're not sweating it come tax season. Also, I'm sure a lot of you are aware of this, but some of you may not be. 2025 is an incredibly important year for crypto taxes because of the new IRS safe haven rules that are coming into play. I'm obviously not a tax expert, and so I won't dive into all the details of what's happening with the safe haven rules. There's a ton of great videos online about it. I would recommend you look into it, but basically you need to make sure that you've got all your ducks in a row at the end of this year to make sure you can take advantage of that. So do your research, look into it, get prepared, and use a tax software like ZenLedger to help make sure that you've got everything correct and ready to go. Okay, so now that we've established that a tax software is a must in the world of crypto, let's go ahead and really dive in. Obviously, there are quite a few options out there, so let's take a look at what you should be looking for in a tax software to help you make a better decision. First of all, and maybe kind of obviously, you want one that's really reliable and has been around for a long time. Also, another big one is that they can integrate all the different various chains and coins and actions that you might be taking, because you want to be able to put everything all in one place just to make sure all of your tax documents are correct. So making sure that you're working with something that can actually utilize everything you need is really important. Another thing that I like to look at is affordability and options. Like for example, someone that's maybe newer to crypto and hasn't done a lot yet doesn't need a whole big, robust, expensive tax plan. So it's nice if they can just get a good basic report spit out without spending a lot of money. But on the other side of that, you definitely want to have that full, robust option for those of us who have done a lot of different transactions in crypto. So you're going to want that premium product that has a variety of different tiers and options, but really can cater to both the beginner and very experienced traders. Another thing I always look for is good customer service. Trying to figure out your taxes can be very overwhelming, and so having a knowledgeable and responsive team really goes a long way if you have any questions. And that is honestly why I'm excited to be partnering with ZenLedger, because they tick all of those boxes. They have some great tiered options depending on your needs, everything from beginner DIY tracking to full-on professional reporting. They have everything from the IRS Schedule 1 crypto income reports to Schedule D capital gains and losses, Form 8949 for sales and dispositions, and really any reports you may need. Another great feature is they actually integrate with a lot of the other popular tax softwares like TaxAct and TurboTax. It can really just make your life a lot easier when you're looking at your holistic tax needs. Another thing I want to touch on is their audit trail report is an incredibly helpful tool. It just really gives you this comprehensive overview of all of your taxable trades and any like relevant transaction data associated with it. That just helps you kind of keep on top of all of your capital gains and losses so you can kind of get a picture of where you're heading as the year goes on. Also letting you preview with different accounting methods too. So I want to quick touch again on the customer service piece of things. Their customer team is actually completely in-house and they really prioritize fast responses. Like you will usually get a response within a few minutes, and they have really great hours too. Their help desk is available from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 7 days a week too. In terms of being able to integrate any of the exchanges or platforms you use, ZenLedger really is set up to help you out. They support all crypto exchanges and wallets via either API or CSV. And they already have a direct integration with like over 400 exchanges, not to mention over 50 blockchains, over 100 DeFi and NFT protocols, which I believe is the largest of any crypto tax software. But let's just take a moment and walk through the whole process of setting up an account together step by step. So you would simply click on the sign up button, and you've got a couple of options here. Obviously you could connect with Google, or we've seen MetaMask and Coinbase, but also I would probably just create an account with your email address and password and get started that way. All right, and you're in. So here you can go ahead and select, obviously most of you are going to be the individual filer, and you put in a little bit of information about which country you will be reporting your taxes from in your time zone, your currency, and then look at that. So many different wallets and exchanges. I mean, you guys, I am still scrolling. But really, it's that easy. Let's say that you have some Ethereum wallets, you've got a Coinbase account, maybe you're using Binance, Kraken, Gemini, whatever you're using, you can plug these all in. And obviously, like we talked about earlier, there's tons of the decentralized wallets and exchanges here as well. And even things like Cash App and really anything you might be using, you'll be able just to plug all in and get the appropriate tax documents that you need. Okay, so now that you know how to set up an account and we've walked through all of that together, another kind of like fun tool I want to point out is their crypto tax calculator. This is a really nice tool to have if you're considering making a transaction and you want to see how it's going to impact things. So for example, you put in your buy and sell price, the amount of your income in the state that you live in. It'll give you a really accurate picture of how that trade might run you if you execute it. So that way you can really see what your tax obligations would look like to see if it even makes sense. So to better kind of break that idea down, let's actually just run through a couple of examples that they gave here on their website. So you bought Bitcoin that was worth $10,000, so that's your cost basis. And let's say the next day you sold it for $12,000. Proceeds minus your cost basis would basically leave you with $2,000 of profit. And because you sold it the next day, it would be under short-term capital gains, and so that's the amount you'd be liable for in terms of taxes. Look at more of like a long-term capital gain situation. You sold Litecoin that was worth $12,000 for $13,000 a year later. Your proceeds minus your cost basis is $1,000 profit, so that math is similar, but because it's been more than a year, you're looking at the long-term capital gains tax brackets. Another thing about ZenLedger is they have a really great educational center, and these resources are great for people to educate themselves more deeply on crypto tax topics. Now, this is something I think is really important to stay on top of and educate yourself and make sure that you are doing the best you can to do everything properly. I've seen just too many instances where people don't even realize that they are triggering taxable events. For example, just simply swapping between two different coins, you're actually selling one coin and buying another, which is fine, but if they don't realize they're paying taxes on that, that might have impacted their decision. And so I think more upfront education is super crucial here. So if you go to the ZenLedger education pages, they have everything from complete DeFi and NFT guides. As you can see, they even have it broken down into certain specific countries. And these resources also have some more advanced ideas, specifically things like tax loss harvesting. They also do a variety of webinars on topics like how to be a successful trader, what to do if you get a scary IRS warning letter, how to pay taxes on your NFTs, and just a whole lot more. Now, I know I've covered a lot of information in today's video, and I really do hope you guys have found this helpful and maybe serve as a little dose of motivation to get started on your crypto taxes early this year. ZenLedger really is one of the most trusted crypto tax softwares in the space. It would be a great option for you guys to check out. So if you want to get started and check out their different options, head to ZenLedger.io and be sure to follow them along on social media for all the latest updates. Thank you so much, ZenLedger, for supporting the channel by sponsoring this video, and thank all of you guys so much for watching.